So then guys, with the great news that the new iPhone 17 models are coming in less than 2 weeks at an Apple event, today what I want to do for you is I want to show you the full picture, as it were, of all the specs we know for the normal iPhone 17. When I say the normal iPhone 17, I'm just calling it the iPhone 17. This is what Apple call it, not the Air, not the Pro models, just the standard iPhone 17. And like I said, I want to show you all the specs over every single leak and rumor that we have heard about, what has fully painted a picture of what we're going to be getting this year in 2025 in September time. So let's get started. So as you can see right here, I have sectioned everything off into little text boxes and everything into different categories. And let's go over all these different specs that we've heard about. So to start with the actual display of the new iPhone 17, we're actually going up to a 6.3-inch display this time. We used to have a 6.1-inch display. We've had that since the iPhone XS to the 11 and so on and so forth. But this time it's going up to a 6.3-inch. This is literally the same size as an iPhone 16 Pro right now. But not only this, this is also going to be an LTPO OLED display, and supposedly it's going to be even brighter than we had before. And then finally, something what I'd love to say is that we're also going to get that 120 Hertz dynamic island ProMotion display finally added. Well, we're going to get ProMotion and dynamic island, separate things there, but ProMotion display finally added to the normal iPhone at last, not just in a Pro phone. There's an exclusive there. So this is great upgrades that we've got here for just the display to begin with. But then you might also be asking about, say, the camera system. What kind of upgrades are we going to get there? Well, we're getting some upgrades here with the 2 cameras on the iPhone 17. So last year, for example, we actually got a wide 48 megapixel sensor, and then the ultra wide's a 12 megapixel. And it's been like this for the last couple of sort of generations now. But this is also going up now for the ultra wide. It's going to be a 48 megapixel as well. So it's dual cameras with 48 megapixels, so your ultra wide pictures are going to look absolutely amazing. And the great news is that even if you record, say, at 4K, this is going to look amazing too. More than likely this will only go up to, say, 60 frames per second like we have right now with the normal iPhone 16, but the 17 will also have that too. But then on the front of this actual phone, we're also going to get an upgrade there with the camera, and it's going to be a 24 megapixel camera this time around, and this is an upgrade over the 12 megapixel that we've had for many years. So this is fantastic news. But then the next question you might be asking is about what is powering all of this and what's the performance going to be like for the new iPhone 17? Well, we've been told we're going to get an A19 chip, just a normal A19 chip, and this is going to be made on an enhanced 3 nanometer die. And the great news is with this is that most likely the CPU, GPU, NPU all combined, the performance on average is going to give us about a 25% increase in speed and efficiencies than what we got last time with the A18. But one thing I would also be made aware of here, we are still looking likely to only get 8 gigabytes of RAM paired with the normal A19 for this. But for storage options, you will be able to choose up to 1 terabyte for this iPhone 17. So at least that's some good news there. But then the next question you might be asking about is what about battery life? What's going on there? Well, we've been told that as the iPhone 17 is essentially going to be the same size as the iPhone 17 Pro, we are probably going to get around about the same sort of battery put inside both these models. And it's looking likely this is going to be a 3,700 milliamp battery. This is definitely a little bit larger than what we had last year. And combined with that A19, what I talked about being more efficient, and also some other bits and pieces that I'll talk to you about in connectivity in just a second, well, the great news is with this is that battery life is going to be even better than what we got with the normal iPhone 16. I actually say it's going to be probably up there with the iPhone 16e kind of battery life, because that did show up the normal iPhone 16 when that did actually come out. So that is great news to hear. But something else that we've also heard about is that for wireless charging, it's going to be one of the first phones out there to have Qi 2.2 compatibility. So this means 25 watt wireless charging. And you don't have to buy the official MagSafe one from Apple to do this with 30-watt charging. You'll be able to get power banks with, say, Qi 2.2 in it for MagSafe, and this is going to be great to actually have that kind of ability there. We're also going to have the actual standard kind of fast charging on the actual bottom as well, so USB-C, possibly up to 27 watts this time, or even up to 30 watts, similar to like the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max. So yeah, this is great news to hear too. But then the next question you might be asking is, what about the actual design? What's going to happen there? Is the actual design changing? Well, as you can even see recently on dummies and also on renders, that obviously the design isn't changing whatsoever from the iPhone 16. The 16 did do that change with the vertical kind of cameras, and it doesn't look like it's going to change. But one thing I would like to mention is obviously because we're getting that 6.3-inch display this time, that means actually the phone's going to be slightly larger this time round. So if you've got an iPhone 16 case, you know, it probably will not fit an iPhone 17 because the phone's going to be slightly larger. This is why we've also got a slightly better and bigger battery life with this. And then because of this, the bezels are also going to be slimmed down on the screen, very similar to what we've got on the 16 Pro and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And we've also been told that durability is probably going to be even better this time, especially like with the ceramic glass on the front and things like this. This will definitely help out, what is great news to hear. But then finally, the last thing to talk about is connectivity, what we're going to be getting there. Well, we've been told more than likely we're going to be getting that C1 chip that's got put inside the iPhone 16e, but an enhanced version of that one. So we're probably going to get 5G connectivity with this, probably not Wave inside of this, but then again, there's only a few cities in the US will even support this, but we're probably also going to get Wi-Fi 7 with this. We're also going to get Bluetooth 5.4, and then obviously, you know, all the usual other kind of connectivities by USB-C, that will still happen, but it's probably USB 2.0, and then obviously, you know, everything else like your Face ID and things like this to connect, you know, that's all going to be exactly the same there too. So then guys, just a quick word from today's sponsor, Mealy. So I got back from California recently and I used the Mealy tag to track my bag the entire trip, and honestly, it was kind of brilliant. Whilst everyone else was stressing at the baggage claim, wondering if their luggage had made it, I just checked my phone, yep, my bag already at LAX. And that's the beauty of the Mealy Me tag. It's a smart little Bluetooth tracker that works with both iPhone and also Android phones. And here's the best part, no subscription is needed. You buy it once and that's it, done. If you've got an iPhone, it works natively in the Find My app. And then for Android users, there's the Find Hub app, which gives you real-time location alerts, the works, you name it. I've been using it on my backpack, my keys, even for it in one of my tech pouches too. It's super lightweight, it's durable, it's IP67 water resistant, and the battery inside of this can last up to a full year. And yes, it's also replaceable. You can make it play a sound if it's nearby. And you can track it across the globe, and it just works. No faffing around with weird apps or monthly plans. So if you're tired of losing your stuff, this is a seriously solid pickup. Check the link in the description to learn more, and if you want an even more fuller breakdown about the Mealy Me tag, I even made a dedicated video where I'll also talk about other features and comparing it to other tags out there, and make sure you check that out. It's also in the description of this video too. And with that, let's return back to the main video. So moving on from this then, what about the release date and the price of the iPhone 17? Well, just recently, if you've been living under a rock, I'm going to tell you something interesting, and that is Apple have just come out with the news of their Apple event called Ore Dropping, and that is going to be happening on September 9th, and it's going to happen at 10 a.m. Pacific time in the US. It's the California side, on the actual sort of western side of the US, but obviously depending where you are in the world, that will reflect in different times. So for example, here in the UK where I am, that's 6 p.m. in the evening when that will actually be happening. But the main thing is that is when the event's going to happen. That's when we're first going to see the announcement of the iPhone 17 models, including the normal iPhone 17. But to actually pre-order, most likely it's going to be that Friday after the event. So this is going to be the 12th of September time. And then you'll be able to probably get your hands on a brand new iPhone 17 for the first time on the 19th of September. What is a week later after that? What is a Friday? So that is where the plans are going to go across now for actually getting your hands on the new iPhone. But for pricing wise, another question that you've been wanting to know there is, how much is this going to cost us to actually get it? Well, the baseline version, so this is the minimum amount of storage version for it, it's most likely going to start at $799 US, and this is the same price as the iPhone 16. But personally, what I am going to say right now is that $799 US is a great price I will see now for the iPhone 17. If we're getting that large display, we're getting ProMotion, we're getting those better cameras, the A90 more efficient, better battery life. It is an amazing deal for the iPhone 17 this time round. I definitely think it is worth the money looking at it from face value with all the specs that we've gone over today. But with that then, guys, are you excited for the new iPhone 17? Are you going to be getting one by looking at these specs right here? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.